Hello again. Okay, so we've got this AOScope program, and we've gone through demonstrating some of the clocks in the last video. In this one, I wanted to talk about the really slow signals we can do one more thing with, is called smooth scrolling. There's a scale factor. The program, as we talked about in the first video, is sampling the analog ports at 10,000 times per second. There is a factor we can throw in there to say we want to skip however many we want. And let me flip over here. Okay, so here's the program, and you just go down here, and there's the S command, and we can tell it to sample way fewer. And if I use SC10 instead of 10,000 samples per second, it's going to divide it by 10, and it'll give us 1,000. If I say, I could say 10,000. I could say SC 10,000. The problem is that you wouldn't see anything for a very long period of time, because it takes, well, you get one sample per second. You wouldn't see it till 512 seconds later. So that's too long. That's really kind of inconvenient for a really slow changing signal. But sometimes our signals change slow, and that's okay. So one of the things we can do, let me bring up the plotter program here, serial plotter, and we're already up and running. I mean, we've got, this thing is all connected. It's blinking. It seems to be happy. So if I click on the send, it doesn't, oh yeah, 115, 200 baud, and it says no line ending over here, has to be carriage return. Now if I click send, okay, then it gives me the standard line. So let me change this to, I'm going to go to SC50. Oh, let's go 100. SC100. And you'll notice that up here in the top, it says SC 0.01. Okay, so that's 10 milliseconds per sample. So I'm going to do that's pretty good. It's 100 samples per second. So if I'm watching something that's drifting up and down, I can actually see it. The other thing that we've got that makes it really interesting is we've got something called a smooth scroll. So I can just say SS, and I'll hit that. And you can see, there's not much to see right now, but you can see the little specks on the trigger lines going up and down. Let me connect in something here. Let me connect the A0 line. This is our, and if I just touch the, let's see here, if I can get this to a position where you can see everything at once. If you just touch lines, this is the 60 hertz that comes in from the air, and if I touch other things, it tends to make things move around. Okay, so but you can see now that this thing is scrolling. Let me take the other side of this. I'm going to connect it to D10, and that's the clock A output. So now that that's running, let me tell clock A I want to do something. I'm going to say clock A frequency in just 1 hertz. So so we can see what's going on. Now this runs continuously, it just doesn't stop. So if you've got a potentiometer that's connected to one of these, or an analog signal, you can actually just watch something slowly go up and down, and it just lets you see stuff a little easier. To flip back to normal mode, it would be SN, according to my commands here. But even at this speed, that would be a little inconvenient. We could probably go to SC50, and that still works okay. If you get a divide factor less than that, I think it's going to be really dependent upon your computer, whether it can handle it. Let's see, ST10. Let's see what that does for us. It doesn't really look, it no longer looks square. So I'm thinking we're missing a bunch of samples there. So SC50 is about the best you can do, and that seemed to have worked. Now I probably broke everything. Nope, there we go. Now it's back to normal again. So SC50 is about as fast as it can go. If you go to put a divide factor in there lower than that, then it's probably going to fall apart on you. But as I said, this is convenient for watching a very slow signal. We can get it now. We can put in the SC10000, 10,000. And you can see, let me get rid of that. You know, if I put my cursor on this, so you can actually see where it's at, it's stepping over once every second. You know, or I can do SC 1000. Now, you'll notice that when I do something like the 10,000, or, you know, if you get the right numbers in there, there's something called aliasing, which causes a really interesting problem. So if I say SC 10,000 in, let's go back to 10,000. You'll know that it's low. Well, the signal's going up and down once a second, and I'm only looking at it once a second. So if I happen to look at it just when it's low, a second later it's going to be low again. So odds are that it's just going to stay low indefinitely, even though the signal's actually jumping up and down. That's called aliasing at a really slow scale. Okay, I'm going to stop this one here, and we'll do one more video after this.